Principles of communicative grammar teaching. Communicative grammar teaching focuses on using grammar in real life contexts rather than teaching isolated rules. Let's compare traditional grammar teaching with communicative approaches. Traditional grammar teaching relies on memorizing rules and doing mechanical exercises, focusing primarily on grammatical correctness. In contrast, communicative approaches emphasize using grammar in context through meaningful communication tasks. While traditional methods focus on perfect accuracy, communicative teaching prioritizes effective expression of meaning. Let's explore the core principles of communicative grammar teaching. First, grammar should be taught as a tool for effective communication, not as an end in itself. Second, communicative teaching emphasizes meaning and function over isolated grammatical forms. Third, grammar should be practiced using authentic language in real-life contexts. Let's look at some examples of how different grammar points serve specific communicative purposes. The past tense serves the communicative purpose of telling stories and recounting experiences. Conditionals help us discuss possibilities and make plans based on different scenarios. Students learn grammar best when they see its practical application in meaningful contexts. The communicative learning cycle starts with encountering grammar in authentic contexts. Next, students understand the meaning and purpose of the grammar structure. Then they practice using the grammar in communicative activities. Finally, they apply the grammar in real communication situations. This cyclical process continues as students encounter new contexts, reinforcing and deepening their understanding. Grammar becomes truly meaningful to students when it's learned and practiced in communicative contexts. The first key technique for communicative grammar teaching is contextualization. Contextualization means introducing grammar structures through texts, dialogues, or situations where the structure naturally appears. For example, to teach the past continuous tense, we might start with a story that naturally uses this grammar point. In this example, the past continuous forms was dancing and was serving appear in a natural context, helping students understand when and why this tense is used. A key part of communicative grammar teaching is using activities that require students to use the target grammar for meaningful communication. Information gap activities require students to share information to complete a task, naturally creating the need to use specific grammar structures. Here's an example of an information gap activity for practicing the simple past tense. Students must use the past tense to ask and answer questions about what they did yesterday, filling the information gap between them. Role-play activities give students the opportunity to practice grammar in simulated real-life situations. Problem-solving tasks require students to use target grammar to solve meaningful problems, making grammar practice purposeful. Guided discovery is a technique where students analyze examples to deduce grammar rules themselves rather than being explicitly told the rules. Here's an example of guided discovery for teaching comparative adjectives. Instead of immediately explaining the rules for comparatives, the teacher presents these examples and guides students to notice patterns through targeted questions. Through this process, students discover the rule. For short adjectives, add "er" plus "than." For longer adjectives, use "more" plus the adjective "plus than." Authentic materials, such as news articles, songs, and videos, showcase grammar in natural use, helping students see how grammar functions in real communication. News articles are excellent for teaching passive voice structures, which appear frequently in news reporting. Songs often contain examples of present perfect and other tenses in natural, memorable contexts. Video clips, such as cooking tutorials, provide natural examples of imperative forms and sequencing language. Assessment strategies should evaluate students' ability to use grammar for communication, not just identify correct forms. Let's compare traditional assessment approaches with communicative assessment strategies. While traditional assessments use fill-in-the-blank exercises, communicative assessment might use role plays that require the target grammar. Instead of multiple-choice grammar tests, communicative assessment employs problem-solving tasks where grammar is used for a purpose. Traditional assessment focuses only on correctness, while communicative assessment balances both communication effectiveness and grammatical accuracy. Effective feedback in communicative grammar teaching balances comments on both accuracy and appropriacy in communication. Delayed correction allows students to communicate freely during activities, while the teacher notes errors for group discussion afterward. Peer feedback encourages students to analyze language critically, using guided correction criteria to help each other improve. The feedback sandwich approach ensures correction is balanced with positive reinforcement, maintaining student confidence while addressing errors.